where they themselves are not in a position to collude and benefit against us. To be successful, they have to outdo each other. Not me, who they represent. You know, and this is why check and balance is so essential. Where the system as we have it now, there's none of the representatives with any incentive to snitch. There's no incentive to correct any misdoing, any wrong that they see. Why? All it is going to do is cause enmity for me, and the next thing I know is next campaign here in Island People. And you know that woman in those guy in the ear that I said, the next thing she gonna make all my name next week. You know, and they know that memory son. You know. But again, this structure is what promotes the coalition of like minds, Albert. Because you are more liberal minded than I am. Believe you me, your peers, your colleagues are going to be more liberal-minded people than mine, because that is how we're wired.
But why would you say that my colleagues mean in my generation?
No. I am speaking, you know, as a politician, like if you were a representative.
Okay.
And you were one of the senators, yes. You would, you know, according to your frame of mind, that is where you're going to find yourself. If we want to take a stock position, go back to the United States was clear for all of us to see. That's like where we get our politics 101. It's like the same abortion issue. It's what's your stance on abortion, and we can almost begin to predict where you're going to end up politically.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Well, this is what we're talking about, the like minds.
Okay.
You know, and this is with it. But we have no such thing in the Virgin Islands, because our issues only become, highly contested and even controversial based on the personalities that might be pushing it or handling it, not the issue itself. So that you don't have one mindset, if you will, who is pro this because the ideology is comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And where then you have the opposition, well, no, because our ideology, we ain't in that at all. No,
so
sir.
There would be no need for us to guess which way Senator so-and-so would vote,
right,
because his ideology is right, opposite of what the issue. Okay.
And what promotes this is the fact that it must be there if you're going to be successful with whatever bill you initiate. Why? Because you not only need your fellow at-large senators or your fellow district senators, but you need them both. And they don't have the same interest as you.
Well, some would argue that the reason that there's this contention between successful candidates is because as they are vying for this seat, there's opposition amongst all of them. I would suspect, because all of us are fighting for that same seat of representation. So we're going to say anything that's opposed to, and then after the election now, 7 of us have been successful, and the mindset is supposed to be we're supposed to come together now after we've hacked each other up on the trail, and I guess a quick service of kumbaya and on with which business.
Well, that is it, because you have no reason to further coalesce. You needed that bit of kumbaya to get the votes, but you've been successful. Nobody can hold you accountable for anything in St. Croix. You're one of the 7, and why are you more responsible than the other 6? Because we have no structure that separates you from the others, which is part of the check and balance. You must allow for, just like in the House of Representatives is 435 people. But everyone represents a different set of people. I represent these 700,000 people over here in East, St. Louis, or for instance, in Grove Place.
Okay.
You see, and Grove Place been having problems forever with that gut. Now, you don't have any problem with guts because you dealing with at large, and you are trying to see what you can do about this ferry service. Now, how is ferry and gut going to get together?
Because I'm going to need the gut vote so I could help with get my ferry service going.
In politics, we call a continual resolution. Even if we have to call each other 2 trucks calling for them, man. Well, look, I tell you what. You see, this is what we're going to do. I just said, and you got to work these things out.
It just come to me. Yeah.
But the structure must be there to just that, to promote the continual resolution.
So
there's no accommodation to be had.
So how is it that this present structure doesn't promote that?
Well, there's no accountability. Nobody's responsible for anything other than for campaigning to get into the legislature, to get one of those 15 seats. But once you've got it, what other struggles do you have? What is confronting you?
But this is what I'm trying to understand. I mean, so you're saying to me that my only goal, my only objective is to obtain one of these seats. Once I've gotten that, there is no expectation?
Well, yes, the people expect you to do all kind of things because you promised them all kind of things.
Sure.
But there's no way to hold you accountable. You have 2 years to explain to those same people who voted for you why you couldn't be successful. Without calling my name, one of your colleagues, you could suggest, well, you know the long mark I want for Frex every time I open my mouth on the floor, he comes and he threatened to do this thing, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And then you can, point to me and say, well, I did this or that, but you could clearly suggest that I did and I didn't, and nobody could do anything but argue and talk shows because Robert is not accountable to anybody other than everybody in St. Croix. Mm-hmm. Mario is not accountable to anybody other than everybody in St. Croix.
Yeah.
And so, you ain't do nothing about the fungus. Well, me either. But I could talk better than you. So I could make it seem as if you is the one ain't doing anything about it. But the fact is that is just it. There's no accountability. But if we did the simple thing with the district senate, there would be 2 senators
for the
each.
West,
one for West, one for East. So whatever the issue, one of them 2 people as well. Well, what you do?
So because then there's the argument for the reduction in numbers, because with the reduction in numbers based on those districts, you have your accountability is more readily available because there's only 2 people that you're going through, as opposed to say 7, which may not be still a large number, but again, it's only 2 people.
Only 2 people, because you are being elected by only that district that is called Christiansted East. They could care less about what Mario do. He run at large, or Mario run in West. They could care less. You ran for Christiansted East, and you said you was going to change the colors of the striping and the bypass.
Okay, gotcha.
They changed. It's the same thing, and you said so.
And you said you would do it, but I didn't do it, so now you can directly hold me accountable to it because I... Yes.
Okay. I might have promised them I was going to fix the gut. And you could say, well, the paid fall down the gut. And they delivered it to the wrong place. And I didn't get it, so. But we will have it before the next hurricane season, though.
Hopefully.
But, funny as it seems, that is what happens with the absence of structure, promoting the check and balance, so that we always have to be on our toes. We always have to be, because that is just it. My colleague could easily get a leg up on me just because of the structure of this thing. And always remember, I must have ideological peace with like minds, because don't care how good my legislation look, if I can't get 3 of those people who will run at large, I ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
So you see how you got to be maneuvering and bobbing and weaving and ducking and dodging and walking, all not in your interest, but in the interest of your constituents.
And you're directly representing those constituents in your particular district.
Period.
Without saying all of the people, just those people in your district.
Period.
I like that. Okay. All right, folks. Listen, we're going to take a little breather here, grab a glass of water, cool things down here a little bit. You're listening to WSTX AM 970. Of course, we have the Honorable Mario Moorhead in studio with us, and we're having that conversation. So we're going to open up the phone lines. Of course, the numbers to call 773-0390, 773-0490, and you're in session with me, Robert Moorhead, and I'll see you on the flip side. Hi, this is Robert Moorhead. I'd like to invite you guys to join me every Wednesday and Thursday to tune in to In Session on WSTX AM 970 from 10 to 12 noon, where we discuss the flip side of our political, social, and cultural events. So join me as we discuss the flip side.
Mark the X. This is AM 970 WSTX.
Now back to In Session with your host, Robert B. Moorhead. We are back, and the session is in.
All right, and we're back. All right, the phone lines are already up and going. The numbers to call, 773-0390, 773-0490. And you're in session with me, Robert Moorhead, and my guest today is my Uncle Mario. So, caller, you there?
Yeah.
Good morning. Hello. Morning. Welcome to In Session.
Brother Mario,
good morning.
Good morning to you. And listen, I just received a couple cases of pelican oil and a couple cases of Mavis powder. Do you want any?
I want, yes. What do you mean?
Oh, wait. What kind of thing is that?
Send a gross down Western for me, please.
Not that I know what it is, but how come I can't get some too? What kind of
It's
thing?
a young.
It
It will age you too fast.
But listen, it's such a pleasure hearing Mario, because, man, we go from way
For me,
back.
I custom the bit back behind you, trying to keep some kind of beat, some kind of rhythm, where you understand, you charming the ladies up there. You know, you have glittering like a mirror. You understand? He pumping here, you know, you understand? Creamy, it's always good, man. It's always good, my son. You sing great.
It's nice to know that you are a Christian. And that's why I keep saying we have such wonderful people here in Santa Cula.
I would you all away.
And we have to be proud of this island and our people.
For sure.
What is back at the reef, we can't control that. But what is inside the reef, we could do something about it.
That's right.
So Mario, it's been a nice pleasure hearing your voice.
Not as good as if I was here listening to hear your trumpet.
And I'll tell you something.
I'll take the action then.
Watch, this morning today was my son's birthday. He's up in States.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mark, and he went to a meeting that was supposed to start 8, but he went there early because he know that we gonna want to call him, but he wouldn't be home. So I tell my wife, man, pick up the hand quick, man. And she picked up the hand, and I played Happy Birthday for him.
Yes,
then I went into What a Wonderful World. Because I played
That's
that.
my creamy there, son. That's my
I'm sure
creamy.
that started his day off good, and it made me feel good too.
Right.
Yeah, but we got to do some things that would make us feel good,
Of course.
Yeah, either say, hello to somebody, give them something. You see somebody need a little something to eat, give them. But we accustomed to this from way back, being kind to one another.
That's right. That's right.
That's how we reach out with there.
Yeah.
Well, Mario, I didn't know the gentleman next to you there was your family.
Yeah, man, that's Junie's son.
Well, my peas. I tell you, it's nice though.
Yeah. Well, it's enough Moorhead in the Virgin Islands where they get confused. So.
Oh wait, you don't hear the name? Moorhead, the judge. I know Miss Moorhead, the teacher.
Yeah.
I know all of them. When you mention a Moorhead, you mentioning somebody, with
but
quality.
we're saying Thomas and we're saying John, the Moorhead, the Virgin Islands wife.
Theo Valdem. I mean,
Mui.
Yes,
and he was the senator for St. John, the district of St. John.
He was actually council. He was councilman. They didn't go to senators yet, I don't think. He was senator?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The councilman stopped in 54.
And then went to Senate.
January 1956, when he was inaugurated as senator for the first legislature from the district of St. John.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Mui.
Well,
you hear the history? All right, I
feel better now. Okay.
Well, I feel better too, knowing that you still got your chops and that you was able to fulfill it with a nice happy birthday.
There's another lady that I know make birthday today. I think I'm going to call her and say play happy birthday for her.
See that?
She's the one that used to be around Catholic Church in the uniform for the children. And she just had to be around children all the time in school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had the mouthpiece here. I have the mouthpiece. And I've been warming up now.
I tell you, you got the chops. You got the chops walking about it already.
The only thing was
I know you know.
The fingers didn't want to cooperate, but they're coming around.
I said some WD-40 for a while. You what they call you walking together. Now you got the chops them going.
WD-40 from Pelican Island.
From Pelican Island?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay, Mario.
Thank you so much, Kumi. Thank you, Kumi.
Call you there?
Yeah, greetings and morning.
Morning. Welcome.
Who does voice belong to?
You recognize that voice?
It's so smiley, I think.
A long time,
It's
so like a smiley, funny voice, What is it?
Yeah, it's the Jamaican guy saying the little boy, Talawa.
Oh, this is Stephen Razor, man.
How are
His
you,
brother.
Everything alright?
Thank God for life. We are holding that, man. Come here, we are holding that.
Yeah, I have a question for you. And I understand.
Keep your phone out of the wind.
Yeah, you're on the farm. You're there on the farm.
Keep your phone out of the wind. The wind.
You're kind of I'm breaking up or what? I'm moving, you know what I mean? So
the wind in the phone.
Oh, okay. Give me 2 seconds there. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna rectify the problem right now.
Good thing.
That means you're using.
How is song now?
Much better. Yeah. The window put up now. Okay, good.
Yeah, well, my question to you is, and I understand your reapportionment. But how do we get our present government to change from where it is now to where the reapportionment would be effective?
That's the problem then. You put your finger on it right there, my son, because they are in charge, and as long as they're able to keep our people either confused or ignorant or any combination thereof, that they can't find in the solidarity to push the representatives to make a change, they're going to continue to bob and weave and do whatever and say this and that and that. And everybody that I interviewed for the last campaign was on board for reapportionment. Oh yeah, man, that's one of my priorities. I'll deal with that. But like, any major issue that we have, but that's what it comes down to, we, might have the consciousness, to embrace it and to even articulate it. But the majority of our people could agree with us, but they can't find that impetus that would bring them together as, any kind of a political force that would convince the representatives that, hey, either you're going to have to do it or you're going to go home, In the meantime, it's like they just keep us confused and at each other, man. And so I don't know of any kind of foolproof strategy to get that done other than to get the people much more politically matured and sophisticated that they could present the pressure on the representatives to make the change.
And would you agree that it's through education that we could accomplish that mission?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and so how I feel, right? I know that power, people don't just give up power like that. And when I say, I know St. Thomas is not going to give up that power, or the powers that be in St. Thomas, they're not going to give up that power in order for us to achieve that reapportionment. And I know you don't like to hear it, but I have to say it, my brother. And it's not that it's going to last forever, but the only way we're going to approach this reapportionment is through secession.
I wish I could agree with you. I wish I could agree with you, and I have a feeling that you're not going to understand why it is I disagree. And I disagree. All right. I disagree because your point requires the political maturity and sophistication for the people of St. Croix. You're assuming, that there is some kind of agreement, some kind of social contract on the island of St. Croix, that if they don't do this, we're going to now, for once, come together and we're going to do that. And you see you laugh. But all right, that's too far for you to take clear though. But that's why I disagree, because yes, the confusion, the ignorance is not, just on St. Croix. It's on St. Thomas, it's on St. John. It's all our people. It's that, it's that privileged group who call themselves the politicians. You see, and you got to realize that the politicians in St. Croix are benefited from this just like the politicians in St. Croix. It's the people of St. Croix who are losing. The people of St. Thomas are a little better off than us, but they don't understand why. Because that is just it. Only we are here trying to explain this thing.
Right.
For the most part, all is like, one of the people is chopping this, they keep thinking that, that the St. Thomas got themselves foot down. They need to get better represented. Got them people come here, drink our water, and they don't shoot with it. And then they won't blame we. And so where you go from there?
I understand fully what you're saying, and
good day.
I try my best to come up with some type of solution, because we need it.
Well,
we need it ASAP.
Well, I think part of it, if I am understanding or overstanding it correctly, is that there is no opposition to the current status quo, and there's no organized opposition to the status quo in any regard. And until we've gotten to the point where, as Mario said, we finally say now we go enact this. We haven't gotten to that part as yet. We don't have a plan. So we can't just be opposed for being for opposition's sake. There must be legitimate opposition, and it has to be realistic opposition and holistic. And we fail to have that. It's a go along to get along mentality. We're going to lead from, the middle and all kind of other things that make no sense. And again, it's a game to keep the people, the masses, oppressed and suppressed, so that they will continue to make the monies and benefit the few.
Okay, I understand. Now, here it is. We have our neighboring islands. I think it was Nevis and what other island? There was St. Kitts.
Well, the St. Kitts, Nevis.
What are we talking
didn't
about?
Nevis secede from St. Thomas? I mean, from St. Kitts?
No. That's a no. So whoa. People listening.
Am I wrong?
Yes, you're very right.
Okay.
People listening.
Okay.
Nevis and St. Kitts are in a federation.
Oh, okay. They're a federation.
You are talking about Anguilla seceding back
that's
in
right.
1960.
Anguilla. Correct. Go ahead.
We're going.
Yeah?
We're going
Anguilla seceded
from the federation, and so it is now only St. Kitts and Nevis as opposed to St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla.
Okay.
So now, well, okay. So because they were federation, you're saying it was easier for Anguilla to secede from...
No, it's all about the people. Listen,
It's all about the people.
Yes, don't get lost with these names. Like, people that say, well, because Puerto Rico is a commonwealth. No.
Yes.
Those are just names. Puerto Rico is politically absolutely no different from the Virgin Islands. We're both unincorporated territory. And, the Commonwealth of Dominica, for instance, is absolutely nothing, like the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Nothing or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts. These are just names.
Connecticut. Those are just names.
Okay? So,
Okay.
so the Federation is the name that they call themselves. Because they're federated. Like before we had the United States of America, we had the Confederated States of America.
Right.
And we live by the Articles of Confederation.
Right.
Well, but now we were the United States of America. And after the Declaration of Independence and the Confederation of America, we finally said, how we find it. It's the United States of America, and this is what we have now.
No.
But there are names. There just are names for different structures.
So then what? Okay. So if they're just merely names, would you say that it was the education of the people of Anguilla that made them decided, collectively, it's time for us to break away from the St. Kitts Nevis Federation because it's just benefiting those two islands and not all three?
Well, you're
saying that they decided collectively through education. Well, we're saying that we keep going and asking you for, let's say, funds for education or for the roads or for the infrastructure. And we're not being, our island, Anguilla, is not being addressed. So the Anguillans finally decide, well, we better off on our own.
Okay.
So what? How come up to now, 40 years, so 50 years now since whenever the 1966 reapportionment was? You mean to tell me our people who supposed to be so educated and so diverse now in as opposed and bigger and much bigger than the island of Anguilla, they can't see that it's time that we do something because something doing us?
Brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother, because I was getting a little concerned that I was going to leave here today noon and never even, acknowledge that today is contract day and that we are going to be observing the 137th anniversary of the fire burn today.
That's right.
Today's contract day. So thank you so much for opening that door there, because just like with the fire burn, it wasn't a matter of anybody that was organized. It's just conditions that press you. And you happen to have the leadership, like as a woman like Mary Thomas, who, if you know enough of the story, she had a lot on the line, and it was like, hey, I can't take no more. And everybody else, me neither. Me taking no more neither. Well, so them days it was a man named Webster. And said, and Willis says, you gonna let them people run our life all the time? We just step children behind God's face all the time. And hey, they tried the political tricks and whatnot. There's a lot to what they call the revolution between Anguilla and St. Kitts and Nevis, but it wasn't a matter of any organization. It was a condition. Anguillans were suffering. It is much removed. As you know, if you're a strong swimmer, you could easily swim from St. Kitts to Nevis. But Anguilla is a little bit away. It's sort of like St. Thomas and St. John. You know, a lot of people said they should have been together, and we think we should have been by ourselves, just because of the geographical, setup. And this is what had happened there. And you had the leader in Webster, who was strong enough to stand up to, Bradshaw and Outwell, all of these people here, and tell them, well, hey, you say what you want to say, but this is where we stand. And again, 137 years ago, Mary Thomas said, enough is enough. And people was of the same mood. But again, I just want to point out, unfortunately, it wasn't as a result of anything that had been organized or any organization that was there. But it just simply was a culmination of emotions. It's just at times you just can't take anymore. And there comes a point when, hey, you put too much water in the glass, you run over.
I'm glad that you guys are discussing that, so it could segue into this evening at 7 p.m. You guys need to find your way down Frederickstead by Yucca. That's right. They're doing the 1878 reenactment of the fire bun. It is a family event. Bring your kids out. Yes, I know it's a school night, but this is something that's part of their culture, part of their history. They should have the opportunity to be there. I also understand, Uncle Mario, you're going to be one of the speakers.
I will be speaking tonight. Yes.
Yes. So.
Hey, and thank you for the time. And Mario, that was a pleasure. I don't get to talk too much no more, but that's why I'm taking advantage of this opportunity.
I keep telling you about farm and structure and thing, and some of us is none but little ants that I was trying to build up, and next thing you know, just one big raindrop and half our house gone. We're gonna start all over again. But until we have the power to sustain our commitment, it's like this, brother. But I love you to death, so you stay strong.
You too, my son. Same. The feeling is mutual, my brother. One love, eh?
Yes, sir. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Call, you there?
Yeah.
Morning. Welcome to In Session.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about the what you all guys talking about. Basically,
you got passport. You got passport. You pay your dues. You pay it up.
That sounds like I should be checking these things too, man.
Yeah, man. It's like my slide in there like that. Like, what is your passport? Let me see that stamp.
Come in, man. Come in. What's good? Talk to me.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't get a disagreement from me. I agree with you.
That you need the passport?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, it's for the the whole thing. But what these people know that we're saying now is a technical reason why you can't make this apportionment.
A technical reason?
Yeah, basically what they're saying is, well, you can't do it because a whole one person, one vote thing. They say, well, St. John ain't got enough people to get their own representation. And so that's what they're saying.
But you heard us clarify once again that is untruthful. That's not accurate at all.
And what they'll do is they'll cite some case that was, and then they're going to say, well, but this case, one person, one vote. You can't get
Council, in the interest of time, please point out that case dealt with representation of the people. Representation on the scale of the House of Representatives, as opposed to representation of the territory, the state, the land, like the U.S. Senate versus the House of Representatives. You don't have no one man much less one person, one girl, or one boy, or any kind of vote that is democratically aligned in the Senate as opposed to the House. So you check your case again, and you will see it has absolutely nothing to do with the U.S. Congress. It speaks to the U.S. House of Representatives, which is one of the chambers of the U.S. Congress.
And the lower house.
Check it out,
But I think also too, the cite this, what you name? Lad
Baker.
The 79 case, man, in the Virgin Islands. Now, basically, I mean, I ain't really want to get into too much technical, but that's what these people are saying is, you know.
Well, you see,
no.
But here, all right, we live in the States, so it's Baker versus Khan and things are in the 60s. Come home here now. What happened here after 66 is, again, because of the lack of political sophistication, they simply thought that what the St. Thomas politicians had done had made a shift based on population by attaching St. John to St. Thomas.
Yes.
So now they were wanted to say, well, hey, you know, St. Croix has more people than St. Thomas and St. John together, which was the fact at the time, if you read the case. And what the court said is, yes, you're absolutely right. You know, if you're talking about the representation of people, that would be the case. But then guess what? St. Croix wouldn't have enough people for an additional representative. And this is where the one person is saying yes. But this is after they had joined St. John to St. Thomas. Stop going, you're supposed to read these things more carefully, you know.
Oh, but I don't read. No, I am not debating. I'm just telling you what.
Well, I'm telling you why it is such a difference and why it is that they are lost, because they're not dealing with the distinction that it came after they had already restructured and joined St. John and to St. Thomas. And so the case was claiming that St. Croix had more people.
Did, right? Congress set it up that way when we had one representative at St. John, and you know, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
Well, there was no problem other than St. John kept voting with St. Croix. St. John remained Democratic with St. Croix, and St. Thomas was unity. That was the problem. It was a political problem that the politicians needed to resolve, and that's how they resolved it.
If them must follow them up.
If I may just interject, from the Revised Organic Act of 1954, the legislature shall be comprised of 15 members to be known as senators. The apportionment of the legislature shall be as provided by the laws of the Virgin Islands. Provide that such apportionment shall not deny to any person in the Virgin Islands the equal protection of the law, and provide further that every voter in any district election or at-large election shall be permitted to vote for the whole number of persons to be elected in that district election or at-large elections, as the case may be. Now, until the legislature provides otherwise, 4 members shall be elected at large. 5 shall be elected from the district of St. Thomas. 5 shall be from the district of St. Croix, and 1 from the district of St. John. Yes, 1 from the district of St. John, as those districts were constituted on July 22nd, 1954. We cool?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right, man, but I just wanted to just bring it up because that's just what these men will be talking.
But again, too, we all are entitled to our opinions, but not our own facts. The reality is we've changed. I don't even know if we want to call it change. We've kind of manipulated something that was given to us and expect that it's going to work the same way. There's no way that if somebody gives you a car with 4 tires on it and you decide that it'll be able to drive with 3. It doesn't function that way. But you still want to carry it down the road and make it work, and it just keep mashing up more and more and more. And that's where we find ourselves now, where the rear end don't fall off.
Yeah, funny, the last time being home, and Mara and I, we spent like a whole hour debating with this I guess, former politician that was so lad, I really just, he would not.
Oh, you remember that?
Well, I hope it ain't the same one I thinking on.
Yes, the same one.
Oh, Jesus.
But let me make a point here before I turn the page. You're hearing me, but wait. It look like my mic ain't as strong. You don't hear me too good here. But before we turn a page, what Robert read